Okay, welcome back. That took a little longer than I expected because the thing wouldn't update and the game was crusty and I had to blow on it several times. But we're back. Mega Man 2 Game Boy. A weird choice, yes, probably. But, like I said, this was my first Mega Man game that I own. I played, I went over this before, and I hate to be a broken record all the time. Right off the bat, nice. Mega Man X was the first one that I ever saw and played at a friend's house, and then I really wanted a Mega Man game of my own, and ended up getting this one. And I love it. But a lot of people do not love this game, and I completely understand why. But I have such good memories of this game. This is kind of the black sheep of the classic Mega Man franchise. To the point that even Keiji Inafune has apologized for it, and has gone on record as saying that he didn't really even put his all into this game, he felt, because it was going so poorly. For those of you who don't know, when they started doing the Mega Man Game Boy games, they outsourced. They did the first one, and they outsourced it to another company. And when they came to this one, they outsourced to yet another different company, and supposedly they said there was, they didn't understand the Mega Man series very well. There was, a lot of headaches during development, so... Awesome. So when they went to Mega Man 3 for Game Boy, they went back to that first studio that they outsourced to and used them for the remainder of the Game Boy series. And most of what's wrong with this game is not going to be immediately visible. It's more in the way it plays, I think. Very minor, specific things are kind of weird. But again, I like it. A lot of people hate the music in this game. And it's usually just because they cite it as being way too, high-pitched. And again, I get that. But I really love the music in this game. As songs, they are very, very good. If you look up... a number of people have redone songs and, the entire soundtrack of this game in, a lower pitch and stuff. If you look up, I believe, Rush Jet 1 on YouTube, they redid, the entire soundtrack of this game. If you want, a more palatable version of this soundtrack, because again, I think the songs in this game are great, and this was, for Mega Man 1, 3, and 4, all the, Mega Man 1 through 4 on the Game Boy all reused Robot Masters from the NES games, just with, different orders. This has half from 2 and half from 3. So, in Mega Man 1, 3, and 4 on the Game Boy, they all still have the songs that applied to them in the NES game. This game has an entirely new soundtrack, and I really like it. Everybody has their own original song. This is kind of reminiscent of the Mega Man 3 weapon gets screen, but other than that, every song in here is pretty much original. So I looked it up, and turns out I had Mega Man 3 on Game Boy, never gotten to the end of a Mega Man game in my life, though. I guess I had Mega Man 5 on Game Boy as well. Mega Man 5 is, the Game Boy game is really good, because that's completely unique. It doesn't have, it's all new. robot masters, if you want to call them that. They're star droids. Oh boy, this is not looking good. But yeah, they're like robot masters based on the planets. Good job. Good job, Mega Man. Yeah, Mega Man 5 has like robot masters based on planets, and you don't even have the Mega Buster, like you shoot your hand off. It's really cool. I'm going to stream every classic Mega Man game at one point or another, so that will definitely be streamed. That is probably the best of the Game Boy games. I think the Game Boy Mega Man games are really great, to be honest. Some of it is a little like, hey, here's an alternate version of what you know from the NES game, and then some of it, they do like their own original things. I guess, do we have that password? We might need it. I never played this. It's... Well, again, I'm very biased in that this was like my first, and so it's like special to me and all. It's really short, even for a Mega Man game. I think this is probably the shortest Classic Series Mega Man game. But, you know, in retrospect, this ended up being a really good first Mega Man game. It's not very hard, despite what my actions would lead you to believe. I think it's a good introduction to the series, or like if it's something you just want to pick up and play, I recommend it. You know, aside from emulation, it's on 3DS Virtual Console. I'm sure you can get a copy online for not very much. I wish they would, you know, they've made 2 Mega Man Legacy collections with Mega Man 1 through 10, the console versions. I wish, I would absolutely love for them to make a 3rd Mega Man Legacy collection that has the 5 Game Boy games and Mega Man and Bass. I would be so fucking happy. And I'll tell you what, I don't remember what, I think around like 2003, 2004, they came out with the Mega Man Anniversary collections for GameCube and like PS2 and, you know, various consoles, and they were like the first 6 or 8 Mega Man games. And then they announced Mega Man Mania for the Game Boy Advance, which was all 5 Game Boy games ported to the Game Boy Advance and colored. But the game never came out. Give me one sec here, because I got something for you. I pre-ordered Mega Man Mania. I went to some GameStop that I don't even usually go to, and I pre-ordered it, and I got a free t-shirt with it. This one, specifically. That's an old photo, clearly, but that's not even as old as that shirt is. But I pre-ordered the game. It never came out. I remember going on like IGN every couple of weeks, only to see the release date get further and further away until it just kind of like dissolved. So basically, I pre-ordered Mega Man Mania, and all I got out of it was a t-shirt. Also, I did not do that scene properly, but whatever. I was playing the Vine Man hack the other day, and I was like, oh, I suck at NES Mega Mans. I was literally doing the Airman stage reskinned and gave up. Don't tell Ratson. I used to have a few really good, like, Mega Man 2 hacks. I don't remember what they were, though. I had, like, I I at one point bought a flash cart for my DS. And put like a bunch of NES games on there because no other system seemed to work on it. And just like loaded it up with hacks and stuff. Eventually the cart broke and I held it together with tape. And it still worked until I finally like didn't have use for it and it just fell off too many times and there was so much tape on there that it barely fit in the DS. Airman was Beerman, by the way. Ah, yes, the famous, you know, Dr. Wily robot, Beerman. B-Man. Oh, alright. Good reading on my part. Yeah, B-Man. Well, there is a Hornet Man. But I wonder when that hack was made. If that was made before Mega Man 9, then that was the original. Good old bootleg R4 cards, I know, right? The Game Boy CPU ran at 4.19 megahertz and had 8 kilobytes of RAM. That reminds me, this is actually not running at the same speed as it would on the original Game Boy. One day, I don't remember why. I guess I was like testing my Super Game Boy for whatever reason, and I put Mario Land in, and my brother was here, and he's like, why does the game sound weird? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, it sounds slower. And we got curious, and we eventually, it came down to us putting a copy of Tetris in the Super Game Boy, and then getting an original Game Boy and putting a copy of Tetris in that, and playing them at the exact same time, and sure enough, I mean, I might be getting this backwards. I think the Super Game Boy was slightly slower than the original Game Boy. And so after a while, like, the sound wasn't syncing up, and, like, I never knew that. I played Super Game Boy all these years thinking that I was just playing the same thing in the same way, but it's very slightly slower clock speed, and this Game Boy player is also not quite exactly the same as the original Game Boy either. I can always tell immediately when a song sounds slower. Usually I can too. And I don't know why, and especially, like, Mario Land. Like, I've heard the music of that game dozens upon dozens of times in my life, and somehow never noticed that it was even at a slightly different speed. I always thought it just, like, I knew it sounded different than what you heard on the Game Boy a little bit, and I had just attributed that to it being in stereo. But yeah, usually I will notice little things like that when something is, like, at a very slightly off speed or something. And yet, that is something I learned this year. Even the Super Game Boy 2 is at a different clock speed, so all three of these things have a different clock speed than the original Game Boy. Even I think the Game Boy Advance even does, so when you play a Game Boy game on the Game Boy Advance, it's still not running exactly the same. The hack was Vinesauce memes. Oh, duh. It was released in 2017, I think. So yeah, that came well after Hornet Man then. But still, I understand why B-Man is in there. It's hip to fuck 'em. I will never get over the time, and I have, like, screenshots of this. Hip to Be Square, oh boy, came on Spotify for me alongside a Honey Nut Cheerios ad with that fucking bee mascot, and I lost my shit. Now, that reference is going to be for a very niche audience, but if you understand it, you understand it. I know when songs on the radio are faster when they should be, or faster than they should be. Is that the same? Yeah, I would consider it the same. It might be easier to tell when something sounds faster. Okay, we got source now. The original Super Game Boy is known to play the game program and its audio 2.4 times faster than other Game Boy hardware. Okay, I apologize, I got that reversed then. This is due to the use of the Super NES's clock speed divided by 5, which ends up being 4.295 MHz instead of 4.194 MHz. The timing issue can be rectified by adding an appropriate crystal to the Super Game Boy and disconnecting the Super NES's clock source. I think that is the exact article or something that I read back when we, earlier this year when we went down that rabbit hole of realizing that these games were being played at a different speed. It doesn't make that much of a noticeable difference. But yeah, it had to do with like, oh no. Yeah, obviously the Super Nintendo has a different speed, and it's not, divisible by what... Look, I am not the I am not the person to be streaming or playing video games or talking about technology or anything, as it is clearly being shown. That should be the emote. That should be... It should be the kid from the G.I. Joe cartoon going, I don't know much about computers. Other than the one we got at home, my mom put a couple of games on it. The crystal. The crystal sizzle. Nico needs more crystals. Yeah, clearly, I need crystals to beat this game. The crystal? I got a store in the mall that sells crystals. Maybe I'll pick up a few. And just, like, jam them into my Super Nintendo, and then my Super Game Boy will run at the correct speed. That's what it meant, right? I love the way you do that voice. I'm not that good at impressions, to be perfectly honest. And it's... like, horrifying when I try something on stream and then hear it back later on. And I'm like, oh, this didn't even sound good in person, and now it even sounds worse being recorded. Like, that's what people heard? That didn't sound anything like what I was trying to do. Like, there are some impressions I can do, and then some that I just, nope. It's just like my voice, like, slightly different, or like an accent or something. Like, I wanted to do, like, the Dr. Light Mega Man 8 voice, but I can't really do that. We don't know where it came from. We have to recover all the energy resources immediately, Mega Man. I wish I didn't set that snap clip to delete after 2 minutes. That was... yeah, I should have recorded that, because that was a good... that was a good Candy Milo impression. You should, like, legit get into voice acting, like, on some scale. Because I know I've had you do stuff for me in the past, and, like, unfortunately it never got used, and I feel very bad about that, but... you are good at it, so... I think if that's something you are interested in pursuing, I think you have the ability to do so. I tried a decade ago. That's when I made my last cartoon, I think. And I was in radio plays, and oh, that's right, the Mother Earthbound community, but I didn't do, like, goofy voices. I forgot about that. I mean, I remember it, like, when you bring it up, but, like, I forget, like, oh, yeah, that's a thing she's done. Anyway, we're in the second half of the game now, and, again, something I like about this game that is interesting. You know, we had the first half of the game is Mega Man 2 bosses, the second half is now Mega Man 3 bosses. But all these entire stages are in, like, the teleporting hatches that you would normally see in the boss rush areas of the NES Mega Man games. I keep trying to stop myself from saying Mega Mans. But anyway, so you got these teleporting hatches that lead to entire stages instead of just a boss you already fought. And as a result of these all kind of being contained within Wily's Fortress, I guess, it still applies that now whatever weapon energy you use in a stage will not be refilled upon entering the next stage. Which I thought was like a nice little diversion from what they did in previous Mega Man games, where, you know, the Wily stages you would have that, but not during the Robot Master stages. Here's a pic of the CPU. I don't know if I can really, like, easily... I mean, I'm looking at it, but I don't know that I can easily put things on stream. I wish I knew how to just, like, grab an image and throw it up there out of the blue, otherwise I would, but there's no reason to. It's a chip. If, you know, anybody watching the VOD of this, if you want to know what was linked in chat, it was a computer chip. It's a 1989 Nintendo DMG. Dot Matrix game. Drag and drop doesn't work. I'm not sure. I have to, like, set up, like, scenes and stuff. So, like, anytime you see me, like, put an image on screen, I did that ahead of time. So, you know, illusion broken, I apologize, but, that image of me from, like, 12 years ago in the Mega Man shirt, I had a feeling that was going to come up, so I put it in here. It's not all improv here, folks. You got Needle Cannon. There is, I don't know if this is a nationwide company, or if this is just a local thing, but, I see signs for, I think it's like a realtor service. I see signs every now and then in front of buildings and stuff for, like, Needleman Realty, I guess. And I don't know, it makes me laugh, like, every time, like, because I'm a fucking idiot and I just picture Needleman from Mega Man as a realtor, having, like, a desk job and, like, selling houses and shit. And of all the times I've seen it, I've always wanted to, like, take a picture and, you know, like, draw Needleman next to it. And I've never done it. And it's gotta be pronounced Needleman. But, you know, with this game burned into my mind, how else am I gonna interpret that? Although I think it would be great if all the Robot Masters and stuff were pronounced, instead of man, we used min. Megaman, Needleman, Woodman, Bubbleman, so I'm not gonna bother with the fucking disappearing blocks. Why? Don't need it, get rid of it. Yeah, that's South Jersey only. Okay, well, confirmed. Confirmed Needleman works in South Jersey. Now, here we're gonna get into, here's a pro tip for you. I don't know if this is due to a glitch or bad programming or what, but you can, in this game, split the amount of weapon energy you gain between multiple weapons if you just pause and switch weapons while you're collecting it. So, I will get a little bit for Rush Jet here. Switch, and fill up Rush Coil. And we're good. So there's your hot tip from Cheat CC. That was a thing, remember that? That may still be a thing, I don't know. So yeah, if you are ever in the very specific situation of playing Mega Man 2 on the Game Boy and really needing to efficiently split your weapon energy, well, I just save you some trouble. Smash that subscribe button. That's where I got my Pokemon Moon Jump Game Shark codes. Remember when they used... And again, this might be a thing still. But remember video game, like, code books, like cheat books, that they would sell, like, top 101 Game Boy cheat codes? And it would just be, like, an alphabetical list of games. And just, like, codes that may or may not even work in said game. And half of the book would be games that nobody would even own because it was, like, some shitty license thing. I don't even have room for another E-Tank. Bees! You like jazz? I've never seen B-Movie. Shock and awe in the chat, I'm sure, but I haven't looked. Game Boy Game Sharks are really fucking expensive, like, even now? I guess I can see that, because they're probably... There was something else I just saw recently that I was really surprised it cost as much as it did still. Like, I know that's really vague and unhelpful, but... Fuck, what was it? I don't know. Not me. This is like my favorite song in the game, by the way, I think. If I can still gush about the music that everybody hates. I did a cover of this cover. Give me a fucking break. I remade this song in WarioWare DIY. A game, that I somehow ended up on Vinny's stream of him playing WarioWare DIY, and one of my songs made it in there because I guess the person who sent him their copy of the game had my song downloaded to it. But it was like a shitty remix of the Mario Land 2 theme, and it wasn't even like good. And Vinny just kept hitting the clap button over it. So... There was more people, when you think about it, watching me there, in a sense, than I've ever had watch me actually stream. More people saw my Mario Land 2 WarioWare DIY record than have ever seen me stream, or have probably ever seen anything I've made. He liked it. I don't remember. I thought he didn't like it. He definitely didn't like my Mario Maker level. Both in the sense that he did not click the like button and did not appear to be having enjoyment with it. Which I feel very bad about. Because I spent so long on that, and I'm like, how do I make this, like, not punishingly difficult, but, like, interesting enough for him to stream, if he even streams it, and sure enough, he picks it, and he did not seem to be having any of it. He did not even really acknowledge my fantastic Vine sauce puns in the description and stuff. I thought he liked it because he was clapping over it. I thought he was clapping over it because he didn't want to hear it. And it had claps in it, and he was like, yeah, let's add more claps! Excuse me one sec. Gotta stay hydrated, folks. It's important. Stay hydrated. It's healthy. For your health. What are you gonna do when you're streaming and you start running out of moisture in your mouth and you can't talk good? Just take a sip of water, dummy. For your health. You know, speaking of impressions, I wonder how that one's gonna sound. In my head, I'm like, haha, I can be a voice actor, and then I hear my voice, I'm like, haha, no. Not happening. No game overs in this one? We had a game over in this one. Right in the beginning, on Metal Man stage. I don't even... That's gonna fill 1 HP. Just so I can make an excuse to grab another E-Tank. Well, we have 7 lives now. Oh, because I'm collecting 1-ups, yeah. I better not game over. The fact that I game overed at all on either of these games is insulting. I've let everyone down. So anyway, more pro tips here for Mega Man 2 on the Game Boy. Not gonna bother... Top Man is weak to Hard Knuckle, but we're not gonna use that because immediately after this, you fight another boss that is weak to Hard Knuckle, and you will see him for about 30 seconds, if that. He just kind of comes and leaves, and that's it. But Top Man is easy, so just use the Buster on him. The story of this game is... I mean, feel free to look it up, but... From what I remember, the story of this game is... Dr. Wily goes this really specific and random amount of years into the future, when there is world peace, and kidnaps Mega Man, brings him back in time and remodels him into a robot named Quint, and then goes to space. And none of that is shown in-game. Here's our first and last look at Quint. And that's it. And you get his pogo stick, and there is no reason to use it because it doesn't work properly. Could have been a cool item otherwise. Sakugarne. I'll show you what it does. It doesn't fucking do anything. It's not like, even the final boss of this game, I'm just going to use the Mega Buster because nothing else really works that well. And that's just always how I've done it. So yeah, here is the special item we just got. Which is, you know, what should be cool. It's a fucking, like, jackhammer pogo stick. And it works on, like, some enemies, but mostly you just take damage. I don't know, they screwed it up pretty bad. Like, I don't know if it was something with, like, the hitboxes or what, but it just doesn't work. Also, we're in a Time Warp Dali painting right now. You got Scrooge Kane? Holy shit. Is that what that's supposed to be a reference to? The DuckTales Scrooge McDuck pogo stick thing? Sean, I think you just... if that is not really what it is, or like if that is it and not well known or whatever, you just blew my mind. Has Scrooge Kane been in any Mega Man hacks as a power? Not to my knowledge, but my knowledge of Mega Man hacks is not vast, so somebody could have done it. I should stream that someday. DuckTales. I got that when I got it on the NES, the original. It's like the only Disney game I own. Capcom made good fucking Disney games. Can you speedrun it? What, like Ratson? I've only played it like twice. It's a good-ass game, though. Good music, needless to say. I mean, the moon theme. I can't speedrun anything. I mean, let's be real. Well, we're here at the final boss, which is that, as you can see, Dr. Wily has shrunk himself so that his robot could fit on screen. Like, this proportion makes no sense. Wily chicken suit. Kinda is. It's a robot chicken. Haha. Like that funny show. There was a guy I went to school with in high school, and like when Robot Chicken was like, you know, a big thing. Every fucking Monday, this kid would come up to me and be like, "Niko, did you see the new Robot Chicken?" And I was always like, I try to be nice, and I'm like, "Nah, I don't really watch that show. I'm not that interested." And then he would proceed to tell me the entire fucking episode anyway. And like there was every fucking Monday he would do it, and I couldn't, like, I don't know how I could have gotten the hint across that I don't care. So I would just spend, like, homeroom being given a synopsis of the previous night's Robot Chicken episode. There was this one, and it was like Spider-Man, but he was in the Flintstones universe. And they made a reference to Call of Duty. I don't know. I don't fucking know. And every character was voiced by Seth Green. By the way, we beat the game, I guess. I love this song. I want to take, you know, whenever I get back into making music in some form or another, I want to do a medley of the Mega Man 1 Game Boy and Mega Man 2 Game Boy credits themes, because they are, I love them. I love this song. I love that one. They're pretty songs. I don't know, like, that's a weird way to describe a song, I think, but they're pretty. Obviously, again, this is really high-pitched. Look up Rush Jet 1 on YouTube. He's got an entire album of this game's soundtrack done in, like, you know, it's still chiptune, but it just sounds better. You could make music on the Game Boy. I would love to be able to do that. Like, I've seen, you know, like those DJs who have, like, modded Game Boys that they use to make music. I would fucking love to do that. I always thought that was a really cool thing. And that's a neat way, excuse me, to get old technology to live on. And chiptune music is like still like a very popular thing. And I don't know how much of that is like, yay retro, yay nostalgia, and how much of it is like legitimately just because it's good fucking music. But I'm happy that it has kind of had like a resurgence over the past, what, decade or so, and doesn't seem to be going anywhere. It's not even nostalgic. I think it, a little bit, I think they can kind of market it as nostalgia in a way. Which I think there was like a period of time, which, I mean, and they still do this, but like in the mid-2000s, a lot of like pop culture stuff and like stores and whatnot, like Hot Topic and all, went full-blown, remember the NES? Like, there was so much, like, all of a sudden, everything was about the NES again. And it worked. I mean, nostalgia is a powerful thing. But, I think it also is a perfect example that, you know, these things are, you know, good, and they're making a comeback because they were good and we like them. Yes, there is a level of nostalgia and memory and like personal attachment to it, but they're having success because they're just straight up good. I like this even though I haven't heard it before. Exactly. Like, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's like, there's probably, like kids today who are playing through the Switch, for instance, playing like the NES and Super Nintendo games for the first time. And like this is their first exposure to like video games and systems that were around from well before they were born. And I think there are probably like elitists who would be quick to shit on like young kids for liking something that they didn't grow up at the time of. But I think that's really cool that these old things are still around in a capacity for new generations to enjoy. And I don't think age should, dictate what you enjoy. I think I said, before on stream, like I saw a kid, like a 7-year-old kid wearing like a Led Zeppelin shirt or something one time, and like my immediate reaction was like, how the fuck do you know what Led Zeppelin is? And then like I took a step back and I was like, you know what? Why would he have this shirt if he didn't? He clearly, maybe his dad got him into it. He must like it. If he likes it, that's awesome. So yeah, Capcom. That's the old Capcom logo. Alright, well, let's see, how long have we been, like 2.5 hours. I guess I don't think there's enough time to, go for another game. I don't know what game I could do, even. Sorry, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I can tack on to the end of this stream, but I don't think so. So yeah, I'm just gonna... We're gonna... If this would work... Honest to God, my stepmom's store failed after the divorce because the new owner was an elitist shithead. Oh, you want this punk band shirt? Name 3 of their albums. Yeah, fuck that shit. I mean... I know that's like a joke, but people really do that. I mean, that's a whole topic of conversation that we could really go down, but... I think we're gonna head off for the night, but, before we do, I'm gonna get rid of this. Before we do, we have a new feature here on the stream, folks. The NikoPlayGameTime Art Showcase. So we got this one from Sean. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Sean, I apologize. I totally shafted your art for the sake of a bit. I'll put that back up because no, this is I don't plan on doing like art segments for any art that I get, but I thought this would be like and I thought maybe you would appreciate it, but I never saw this. I literally live here and I've never seen it. Sean didn't even show you. He drew this one as well. I love them. I set them as my phone backgrounds. I love them so much. So, thank you, Sean. I hope you don't mind me, showing these. Just for a gag to say that I have a art segment. Phony art segment. Phony streamer feigns popularity. Forgot to post this in the Discord. Holy heck, it's beautiful. I know. It's fantastic. Thank you again. I really do. I love... It's very motivating to see art of, my characters by especially by people who can draw them much better than I can. It's like, oh wow, my character can look like that. That's wild. um, yeah, I'm also meant to, again, artificially extending the length of the stream here. I meant to show this earlier. This is my streaming setup, by the way. Not that you asked, not that you need to show this, but I just want to show you what a clusterfuck this is. And how impractical it is. And why I'm very limited in what I do. Because I'm just... That corner of the bed right there, like a little to the upper right of where that Game Boy Advance is, that's where I'm sitting right now. And this is... I should take a pic of my desk with this setup. Same mic. It's a popular mic. I've had this forever, and now I'm finally getting use out of it. I bought this when I got the Mac because I was like... I was using a shitty microphone for so long. And I was like, I need to splurge and spend money on an actual good mic for new cartoons. And I don't think I ever made a cartoon that utilized this mic. So now it is getting use 10 years later through streaming. But yeah, I just thought you might be interested in seeing what a network of wires I have going across my room and like how shitty this is, and why as well that I do not use face cam, because this is not optimal for such a thing. And you're not going to like see me doing anything interesting anyway. You're going to see the side of my face, and then you're going to see me lean out of frame to read the chat, and that's it. So that's why I don't do face cam. Anyway, we did it. We did 3 games in one night. Scraped by Kirby with the skin of my teeth. Amazing. That GameCube on a foldable dinner table. That's what they're both on. Let me go back to that. The computer is on one of those old, like, 70s TV dinner foldable tables. This is what I have in my room because we never actually made use of them, and I was like, fuck, I need more space for stuff. And I just stole these old these old fold-up tables we have. We have those too. I think everybody has them. They're just like in your house when you're born. Anyway, yeah. Alright, that was a fun stream. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. We'll see if affiliate status has been obtained. But if not, you know, it's no big deal. I don't even know what I would do with it anyway. But I will keep you in the loop by the time we do the next stream. I don't know when the next stream will be. I would like to lock myself into some sort of schedule, like I said earlier, of at least saying I'm going to stream, you know, this day, and this day of the week. So that people know I'm not streaming on other days, and so it's not like last minute, but I don't know yet. Sorry. I apologize. But yeah, I think next time we do this, it's probably going to end up being Luigi's Mansion 3, because that is out in a few days. I don't think I will fit in a stream before then, but you never know. Maybe I'll scrounge something up. But until then, thank you guys for coming. Thanks for talking. I hope you enjoyed. I had fun hanging out with you. If I don't see you before then, have a good Halloween. And I will catch you